Welcome to the Bad News, where we ask difficult theological questions. In this episode, the question is, who is Satan, and is he actually bad? There's a crazy story in the Bible that is argued to be the oldest book in the Bible, known as the Book of Job. This book gives an unbelievable amount of detail to who Satan really is. Check this out. Job chapter 1. There once lived a blameless and upright man named Job. He did what was good and avoided evil. One day, the sons of God, who were part of the heavenly court, which included the adversary, also known in Hebrew as the Satan or the Satan, attended a meeting with God. Let's stop there. Right off the bat, we read theology that goes completely against modern Christian understanding of theology. For example, we read in the story that God has more sons than just Jesus. Also, Satan is one of God's sons. And finally, Satan isn't banned from heaven or God's presence. He is welcomed and accepted by God. Just a few observations. Let's keep reading. God asked Satan, "What have you been up to?" Satan replied, "Not much. I have just been patrolling the earth, watching everything that's going on." Let's stop there. Satan is just patrolling and watching. He's not stealing, killing, and destroying. He's not causing all sorts of evil or forcing people to do evil. He's not behaving at all like what modern Christianity teaches Satan behaves. He's just chilling and watching. God asked Satan, "Have you noticed Job? He is the most incredible person on the earth. He is a blameless man of complete integrity. He only does what is good and stays away from evil." Satan replied, "Yeah, I've noticed him, but Job has all the reason to be a good person. You have always protected him, his home, and his property. You have made him super successful. I mean, just look at how rich he is. But I bet if you reach out and take away everything he has, he will stop being such a good person." Then God said, "All right, I'll take you up on that bet. However, I'm not going to take away everything he has myself. I command you to do it for me. Just don't harm him physically." Satan then leaves God's presence to fulfill God's command. Let's stop there. Here we see Satan about to steal and destroy Job's things. But the question is, why is he about to do that? The answer is, because God told him to. God made a deal with the devil and then forces the devil to do his dirty work. We cannot hold Satan responsible for being loyal and obedient to God. Modern Christianity teaches that Satan is a fallen angel who rebelled against God and is at war with him. Newsflash, nowhere in the Bible does it say any of that. In fact, it says the opposite. As the story goes on, after Satan does as God commanded by taking away everything Job owns, Job remained a good person. So God schedules another meeting with Satan, which begins in Job chapter 2, which is the exact same conversation that God has with Satan, except with a different bet. This time, Satan says to God, "Reach out your hand and take away his health. Then I'm sure he will stop being such a good person." God replied, "All right, I'll take you up on that bet. However, I'm not going to take away his health myself. I command you to do it for me. Just don't kill him." Satan then leaves God's presence to fulfill God's command. As the story goes on, after Satan takes away his health, Job questions what the point of being good is if he's just going to be punished by God either way. Job says in chapter 30, starting in verse 20, I cried to you, God, but you don't answer me. I stand before you, but you don't even notice. You have turned into my tormentor, and with your strong hand you attack me. You throw me into the whirlwind, and you destroy me in the storm. I know you are sending me to my death, the final destruction of all who live. Shouldn't you hold out your hand when someone cries out for help in their times of trouble? Did I not weep for the needy when they were in trouble? Did my soul not grieve for the poor? Yet, when I look to you for good, only evil comes. I waited for light, but only darkness fell. That is how to properly pray to God. Notice that Job blames God for his suffering, not Satan. Modern Christians praise God for all the good in their life, and they blame Satan for all the bad. But that's not a biblically accurate ideology. Job asked God why he's punishing him. And instead of God telling Job the truth, that he was playing with his life as a bet he made with the devil, God tells Job that he is only a small-minded human, and that there is no way he can understand God's mysterious ways. But as the readers, we know that Job suffered because God forced Satan to do his dirty work. So stop blaming Satan for all the terrible things that happen in the world. You are just a small-minded human who will never understand God's mysterious ways. But seriously, stop blaming Satan for all the terrible things that people do. Even in this story, Satan didn't force Job to do anything bad. We are responsible for our own actions. The story of Job is just a parable. The truth is, good things happen to good and bad people, and bad things happen to bad and good people. God and Satan have nothing to do with any of it. There isn't a spiritual warfare going on between God and Satan. They're both on the same side. We are 100% responsible for the good things humanity does, and for all the evil that humanity does. There is no one else to blame. One last note. The majority of the book of Job consists of Job's so-called friends blaming him for his suffering. Instead of helping Job in his time of need, they only watch and tell him that he deserves every bit of torture God is inflicting on him because of his own sins. However, as the readers, we know that God himself says Job is blameless and righteous in every way, the most incredible person on earth. And then God goes on to say that his friends are wrong. So, to answer the question, who is Satan? And is he actually bad? The bad news is you are Satan when you hurt others physically or emotionally. You are Satan when you see people suffering and all you do is criticize and judge them, and you do nothing to help them.